Hey guys, on this episode of SoCal 6-7, I'm going to have the big man, the mucho queso of metalassault.com. His name is Andrew Bansal. Andrew's going to discuss a little bit about the LA rock and metal scene, and he's going to also discuss about touring with SoCal Phenom Metal Extraordinaires Night Demon. That's all coming up on this edition, SoCal 6-7, episode number 3. Check it out. Woo! Andrew Bansal, metalassault.com. Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming in the 67. Hey, you started in 2010. You're 5 years going on 6. It's definitely a long stretch, right? So you've seen a lot of local bands and you've seen a lot of national bands come through in and out of LA and everything. But on the bar level, on the lower level, right? That one band that just captures you every single time, who would that be?
I would have to say Caveman Voice Box, man. I mean, Caveman Voice Box is the grooviest band in the land. And I never miss a Caveman Voice Box show. And, you know, when it comes to just the simple good times and rock and roll, nothing beats Caveman Voice Box.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. Being a rock journalist and metal journalist and everything, I would imagine you have to be a super fan to enjoy this stuff. Is there a line that you draw between being a super fan and being a journalist?
Oh, totally. I mean, it's very important to draw that line because otherwise you will not be taken seriously as a journalist. I mean, obviously You're a journalist in the first place because you're a super fan of the music itself as a whole, and you're a super fan of a lot of the bands that you go see.
Right.
But the way I draw the line is I go see the show, and if I like the band or if I'm already a fan of the band, I enjoy it as much as anybody else would.
Right.
But I pay attention to everything that's going on, and then when I review the show the next day, I forget about the fact that I'm a fan of the band. You know, I keep it completely neutral and objective. And this has really helped me a lot, and I've actually ended up being kind of more brutally honest on bands that I love because I expect more from them too. You know?
Sure.
So that's what you have to do to draw the line, and it's very, very important. And without that, like, there's no point in doing it.
Andrew Bansal, metalassault.com owner, CEO.
Do that again.
You've taken on a role of touring with a band called Night Demon, who I love. They're great, right? Up and coming band. It's just a matter of time in my mind for that band. Having that role of touring, right? Has that opened your eyes a little bit more to what goes on in the music industry than it has being a journalist?
Oh, big time, man. I mean, I see things so much more differently now, even as a journalist or just as a concert goer, than I was seeing before I started touring with this band. Because there's so many things that you don't see unless you're behind the scenes, like how the shows are booked, how they're promoted, how you were the touring band, and how the local openers in other towns interact with you, and how they kind of draw people for you. You know, because usually you're in that position when you're in town. The whole factor of touring itself, you know, which you don't really get to experience unless you're touring with the band. You know,
right.
The band tours in a van, tries to find a place to sleep every night, and sometimes when that doesn't happen, you just take power naps in the van, and you get to the next town and make it work and do the best you can. So now when I see a band on tour, just as a journalist and a reviewer, and if they're not at their 100%, I'm taking other things into consideration, like did they have a long drive,
Sure.
or things like that. You know, did their van break down? So there's definitely a lot of things that happen, and it's been a really amazing eye opener to be touring with Night Demon, and I'll continue to do so for the foreseeable future.
Metal band out of Southern California here. One of my favorite bands, especially in the SoCal area. Try that one more time. In live music today in Southern California, there is a influx of national acts that play on the club level, right? Which I could imagine would sometimes take away from the local bands that are trying to really kind of make their way into this industry. Is there a way to even out that playing field between your lower local live bands and your nationals that come through?
There are all local shows happening with really good bands, but then on the same nights there's invariably a national or internationally touring band coming through town. So a lot of people obviously gravitate towards that. But what is not happening enough is the good local bands getting booked to open for these bigger touring bands.
Right.
I mean, bands that fit well musically, obviously.
Right.
And that's what needs to be done more than anything to rectify it, because that way the local bands would benefit with a bigger audience that never came out to see them, and the touring bands would benefit from the local draw from the popular local bands, you know.
Right.
So that's basically what needs to be done most.
Thank you so much for coming out and taking the ride with us, man. Appreciate it.
Good times.
All right, man.
Sweet ride.